There we go. Is it working now? It should be fucking working. There we go. I just had to set up my stupid voice mod thing. Sorry for the wait. I had to set something up. But yeah. Fuck. What was I gonna say here? God, I'm so unorganized right now. I'm gonna turn down the music a little bit here. Oh, I didn't mean to turn it completely off. Fuck. Whatever, that's probably good enough. And I'm just gonna turn off the text here. There we go. I don't need the text. As you can see, I have a few new little assets for my stream. I'm gonna turn off the bumper thing that I have. There you can see my desk. Oh wait, where's my little VTuber thing? Oh, there it. Wait, why is it doing that? What the fuck are you doing? Get back on there. Just being a little bitch about it. Oh, it was showing up when I had it up. Why is it doing that? It wasn't having that problem before. Hold up. Why is it doing that? Maybe if I turn it on and off? No. Why are you like this? Maybe I'll restart the the app for it. This is... Wait 1 second. Desktop programs. Also just genuine stream without some scuff. Yeah. I just realized you can kind of see some of my screen there. 1 second. I point up a little bit. I think that looks a little bit better. There you go. Oh, now it wants to work. There we go. I got it. The stupid little VTuber thing that I had to make, and I also had some issues with. Okay. I don't know really how to start this off. I'm gonna, after this song ends, I'm just gonna pause it for a second to talk about something. But what even was I gonna say? Oh well, so I finished my art project thing that I did today. I don't know if that's something all of you know about. I only posted it on my other account and like in a couple servers. But if you guys don't know, I have been taking a college art class, and I of course had a final project. Oh, I actually also just want to mention another thing. For anyone who isn't viewing, they aren't going to be missing out on anything because I'm recording it as well, so it should be up. I'm probably gonna put it out on YouTube at some point. Oh wait, I want to pause it. There you go. I'll resume when I actually start drawing. But yeah, so I had my final project, and I wanted to talk about it because it kind of made me think a bit more when it comes to art, if that makes any sense. And I legitimately thought I was going to just straight up fail the art class. Like, it technically did what I wanted it to do, which it gave me some tips and tricks to help improve my art a little bit more, particularly with like just using different techniques and getting like more getting better with my line work and whatnot, and starting to kind of get used to using ink, which actually isn't as hard as I thought it would be. It's not that bad. And I did kind of enjoy it, so I might do stuff with ink a little bit more. And also kind of taught me that charcoal is really good for sketching, because regular pencil just kind of likes to stain the paper a lot, if that makes any sense. It just leaves marks that sometimes you can't erase because it's just staining the paper. Yeah, charcoal doesn't do that nearly as bad. So it's when you make a mistake, you don't have to worry about like really lightly doing it, and then you can ink over it, and then it's easy to remove the charcoal and not have to worry about rubbing off the ink or anything, so you can actually get rid of the sketch without ruining the line work, which is nice. I'm probably still going to just use my regular pencil most of the time because I'm fucking lazy like that, but I might do that for some of my drawings that are starting to look good and I might want to touch up and make look nicer. And overall, I was kind of expecting it to just be that, but lately I've been really focused on my work to the point where it's almost like work has become my entire life, and that's really all I focus on. And it meant that I kind of fell behind in college a little bit. Not as much in history class because it's a lot easier, but especially with art, I fell behind so much. I was missing so many fucking projects, and I even was missing a few of the days. One of them because I had a toothache, and I couldn't really go to sleep, and I already didn't really have any sleep, so I'd be going in with no sleep after being awake for like a dozen hours. I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to like drive like that and get there. So I was like, I'm gonna take the day off. I'm gonna try to get rest, take some ibuprofen. One of them I couldn't go because I had work that day, and I wanted to just get as much sleep as possible for work, because if I went there I wouldn't have had enough sleep and I would have gotten tired at work, and I didn't want to do that. And one of them was just because my alarm on my phone just straight up didn't go off, and by the time I woke up I realized, oh, it's now too late. So I missed quite a lot, and at that point I was starting to think, I'm just going to fail this class. Especially earlier today and like the past few days, I've kind of come to terms with it, because today was my final day in class and my final project was due. My final project, if you guys don't know, was a vestiges project. Basically the idea of that was like you make 16 pages of something, and each page differs from the last, and optimally has more detail than the last. Oh, what's this? I got a DM. Okay, thank you, Sponger. Very cool. I can see you DMing me if you are in here. I think he did join at one point. I don't know, because he DM'd me about it. Anyways, without the external distractions from Discord, yeah, it was supposed to be like 16 pages, right? Every page is slightly different than the last, more detail. And the like vague idea was that it was supposed to be like traces of something that used to exist but doesn't anymore. And I took that idea way too literally. And also, actually, just 1 second. I hate to keep interrupting myself, especially since I don't have a like script. But I'm gonna turn this on so the light's a little bit better. Let me. Is that really the dim light? I'm trying to find out what looks best here. I'll just deal with that. It doesn't matter if this part looks really bright. All that matters is you'll be able to see my sketchbook, which I might as well just put down here. I'm not going to start drawing right yet because I want to talk about the project. Now, for the project, like I said, I took it way too literally. I was like, because I thought, okay, first off, I think it's best I establish context with what I wanted the project to be, what my idea was going to be for how I was going to do the project. I wasn't very creative at the time, and I couldn't think of something, but then, like, I was thinking I kind of want to do something that has to do with fighter jets, but I just couldn't really like think of anything creative. And then my professor says something like maybe try something with like the contrails or something, and I kind of thought of an idea that would be cool, and that would be like telling the tale of a dogfight between a bunch of fighter jets using only smoke trails. And this is where it gets into the whole thing that I was just taking the project way too literally. When I read traces of something that no longer exists, I took that as, oh, I cannot draw the subject of the drawing. I have to draw things that hint at the existence, the previous existence of that object or the subject, but I cannot draw it directly. Apparently, I didn't have to follow it that literally when I saw other people's projects. In fact, most people actually didn't even really stick to that. It was just kind of like the 16 drawings thing. Everything is different from the last. But I was so focused on the name, I was like, oh, that means that's what I have to do. So I intentionally castrated my creativity. I literally cut off what I was good at. I took away my skill. Because I'd say I'm pretty good at drawing fighter jets. That's something that like I focus on a lot. That's something that I enjoy drawing and try to get better at. Yeah, I just threw all of that out the window and said, you know how I like drawing fighter jets and I could use that for the project? Well, since I'm taking this idea way too literally and I'm thinking to myself, oh, that means I can't draw the fighter jet itself, let's just not draw the thing that I'm skilled at drawing and instead do something entirely different that I have no experience with and don't really enjoy quite as much. And that was, I don't know why I did it this way, and I feel really stupid for doing it this way, but I thought, oh, there are two ways of drawing. There's additive and there's subtractive. Additive is like, let me demonstrate it. Like, drawing something on a white paper. Subtractive, I don't know why I'm erasing this. Subtracting is having black on the paper and erasing to make the drawing, which I don't really usually like. So I don't know why I chose that for this, but I thought, oh, that must be the only way, because if I'm doing contrails, which is like the smoke trails and the clouds and whatnot, well, those are going to have to be white, and it's not going to look as good if I just, like, do that. It's not going to really look very natural, and it's going to look really lazy. So I was thinking, oh, I need to make the whole page black. That was a stupid fucking idea. And that was a stupid idea because, as other people said, and now I feel really dumb for it, I could have used ink to make the page black and then used white charcoal or chalk, which I actually got in the chalk kits that I got specifically for this project because, or not chalk, charcoal kits, because I didn't have enough charcoal to make 16 pages black with just like one piece of soft charcoal. I needed to get as much soft charcoal as possible, but I couldn't get it on its own at Michael's, so I had to get 3 packs which had soft, medium, and hard just to get that one stick of soft charcoal that would last me like a page or two and get multiple of them, which instead of spending my education money on it, because I didn't feel like setting up my debit card yet for it or accessing my account, I just spent my own money that I got from work on it, and that added up because charcoal is a lot more expensive than you think it is. It's like $4 for one of those teeny tiny little packs. And I thought, oh, it'd be a great idea if I just made all of the pages black with the charcoal. That'll be easy, right? It'll only take me like 5 to 10 minutes to get an entire page covered in black with charcoal. No. It took me 30 minutes and lots of hard work just to get one page fully black. And even then, there's still little specks of white there that would bother me, but I couldn't get rid of them unless I really rubbed the charcoal against it extra hard, which I was already pretty much doing. And a couple of times, since I was doing it outside because I didn't want to get the charcoal dust all over the place inside, I didn't want to make a mess. And also, I was usually doing it later during the day when it wasn't as busy. And in Florida, especially where I'm at, when it gets like to evening and night, the no-see-ums and mosquitoes come out. So one of those nights I was getting bitten the fuck up by bugs. while I was doing that. And I got through one page and I said, I fucking quit. I got 4 pages of the 16 done. I could not get any more done. So I already failed the project in that sense. And then I had to actually do the contrails by erasing, and I had, like, just today to do that. Like, today, this morning, I had to do that before I brought it in. I was like, okay, I gotta really rush this, but thankfully I only have 4 pages to do for this, but that also meant that I'd really limit it. The other technique that someone recommended I use, and I really wish I used, and I could have probably done a lot more and a lot quicker with it and actually been able to get all 16 pages, was to just use black paper. Although I don't know where I could get 18 by 24 black paper besides buying it on Amazon, and I wasn't about to risk waiting for it to ship. So I don't know. That's kind of a maybe, but that would have made it so much easier if I just did that with white chalk. But no, I thought, oh, I have to cover a paper in charcoal and make it fully black, or else it will drive me insane because it's not consistently all dark black and it looks weird. So I have to like really put my effort and time into making these pages black until the point where literally I'm running out of time and I only have 4 pages. Yeah, the overthinking is insane, literally. I was so caught up in following the project by the book so hard that I threw away all of my creativity. It became no longer art, but entirely a chore, because I took the project way too literally, way too seriously, and it wasn't even really there weren't really rules to the project, but my dumbass thought, oh, this is assignment. That means that I can't take creative liberties, and therefore I have to stop thinking it's art and pretend that it's a homework assignment for school, because I'm so fucking utilitarian. I feel like everything needs to be a fucking assignment, like a chore, and I need to follow strict rules, and I have to be really harsh on myself for it. So I end up completely cutting creativity out of the equation. But despite the fact that I was completely disappointed in the project and ended up being only a quarter of the pages it was supposed to be, you're not gonna fucking believe this. I apparently passed the project. And I was legitimately surprised, because at that point I was losing hope. I had missed so many assignments. There were like probably 30 to 40 pages worth of drawings I was supposed to do, and I wasn't able to do them, or was too lazy to do them, or too tired to do them, and I missed like 4 different days on it. And like 4 days doesn't sound a lot, but I only have 1 day a week in that class, and a college semester is like a quarter of that in like regular school. So it goes by super quick, and those 4 days mean a lot. So I missed out on a lot. I was thinking, oh my god, I'm failing this class. And I was watching in horror as my grades were starting to slip down. And it got to the point where literally last night I checked, and because I didn't get my second portfolio, because I just didn't have enough new drawings to make a new portfolio for the second part of it after the midterm, that I literally slipped down to 27%. That was my grade. I was just, I at that point, I went through all the stages of grief and thought to myself, well, I'm going to fail this class. It's inevitable. I'm failing this class. I'm not succeeding. But the silver lining is at least it's just one class. It's not going to ruin my life, whatever. And it did succeed in giving me tips, and I did enjoy in class. It was just that I treated the homework too much like it was homework and completely forgot about the art part of it. And I was thinking, well, at least I got some valuable information out of it, met some nice people, got some new friends, talked about fun things, and I found out what I don't want to do next semester in college. But I'm going to fail this class. So I just kind of accepted that. I came to terms with the fact that I was going to fail this class, fail hard, and then I was gonna disappoint everyone, like I disappointed myself. But then, like, to my complete surprise, like absolute shock, like most people would like probably think, oh, you weren't like actually really that surprised. Like you wanted to succeed, you know. You thought, oh, maybe there's a chance I could succeed. And when you get the pass, it's like, oh, that's surprising. No, I was like legitimately surprised. I was fully expecting I was going to fail. Like I was expecting it so hard. It was like fact to me. I know I'm going to fail. I don't think I'm going to fail. I know I'm going to fail. I've come to terms with it. And then he said, I think this is the difference between passing and failing. And I was like, thinking, oh, it's just the project, right? I'm just gonna like pass the project, but my grade's still gonna be bad, right? And he said that I'm going to pass this class, and I was genuinely shocked. It was insane. But like the reason why he brought that up is because I saw everyone else's projects and they were fucking stellar because they didn't stick to the rules so hard and they actually were creative with their projects and made them into passion projects. Meanwhile, I completely forgot about the passion entirely and just threw it away. And I saw them and they were just so cool looking. Like I'm trying to think of like some of them. I don't want to like throw out their identity or anything, but I just want to like kind of go over like the gist of some of the projects and why they were so cool. Like one of them had to do with actually there were like I think 3 that included the eclipse in a way. 2 of them were directly about it, but one of them was like about like the moon like coming over the sun, and it was like the moon murdering the sun or something like that, and it introduced like a pinkish red splat in the last 2 panels, and there were like a couple other cool things. Like it broke the boundaries. It kind of like broke the rules in the objective sense like I was trying to avoid for some reason, but it ended up being really cool. And one of them was like based off of a certain like thing that she really liked, like I think it was this Korean thing about like these girls, right? And like one of them goes missing and they're trying to find it or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly. Oh, sorry, my throat is not clear right now. But it was really interesting because she took a very creative approach with it, and she based it on a pre-existing property, which I for some reason thought I wasn't allowed to. I don't know why. I'm stupid like that. I overcomplicate things and I follow the rules too hard. So I was like, oh, I can't base it off of any property or franchise I like. It's got to be completely new and abstract and can't represent anything in particular. That was a stupid idea because she actually based it on that thing and made something really creative on it. It had a lot of color. It even had like a part where it involved like tape, and there's another project that actually had like the paper ripped in a part of it. Like it was, and there were like some mixed media things, like in that one that I mentioned actually with the they like had like tape on the paper and everything. I was thinking, oh, I can only use charcoal. So I was limiting myself so much, and I only thought of a creative idea that I would have really enjoyed doing after the project was due and I already showed it. And I was surprised by how much praise I got for the project. But like I honestly got a lot of questions. I was thinking I was going to go in there, give my excuse as to why my project sucks and why I'm failing the class, give my idea of what I now wish I did for the project and that what I might do in the future in case anyone is interested in looking at it, or maybe if they're impressed by the potential of what it could have been. And then I hop out of the spotlight, like 5 minutes, give a micro speech, and that's kind of it, and I'm out. But I got asked a lot of questions, and a lot of people were really interested in it, and I was so taken aback by it. I was thinking, wait, do people actually like this project? I thought it sucked. But people were really impressed by how black I was able to get the paper with the charcoal, and the extent that I went just to get that aspect. I was legitimately surprised, and they actually were kind of interested in the way the contrails looked and the way I interpreted the project by taking it so literally. I thought that was a downside to it, how much I followed the rules, but they kind of thought that the idea of the restrictions kind of created an interesting concept. And after that, I kind of like started to think really philosophical when I left the classroom and went back home after realizing that I had passed the project and the class. And it just felt so weird to me. It felt so surreal. I was like, am I really as bad of an artist as I think I am? And I kind of started to think that no matter what, I will never be satisfied with my own art. I will never see it in the same light as other people do. And I don't think that's ever going to go away. I don't think my jealousy or comparing myself to others in a negative way is ever going to stop. As much as I say I'm breaking the addiction, as much as I tell myself, oh, I'm going to stop comparing myself to others, it never lasts more than a day or two. I always relapse. It's literally like it's not even an addiction, because at least an addiction you can stop. I feel like it's more of a disorder. It's something that's just permanently wired into my brain, and I just kind of have to cope with it, that I will not ever be truly satisfied with my work. But the silver lining to it, I guess, is even if I may always think my art sucks and oh my god, my throat is like trying to close itself while I'm speaking. I don't know what it is. Anyways, I even if I may think my art sucks like forever, even if I'm doomed to always be such a perfectionist with my art, the silver lining to that is that at least other people will enjoy it. And the fact that I can make other people happy with my art is all that really matters in the end. That's all that's left that really matters, when even when my own passion dies from time to time for art, my own motivation disintegrates before my very eyes, and I feel overwhelmingly, monumentally disappointed in my lack of skills as an artist. The fact that some people think it's really good or really impressive or really creative or is inspiring to them, that's all that matters in the end. So that was my philosophical schlock for the day. I swear to God I won't ever be as philosophical as that ever again, or at least I hope I won't. But then again, don't take this as like super wise words. Don't quote me on this, because I'm probably very bipolar, and my entire personality shifts like drastically sometimes and then turns back on a dime. So my philosophy may completely change sometimes. Sometimes my philosophy is bad. Sometimes it might be good. I don't know. But I'm very inconsistent, and I change and I contradict myself. So take whatever philosophical stuff I say with a massive, comically large grain of salt. But I guess before I start any like regular drawing and whatnot, I think I want to actually kind of get my project so I can show it to you, and maybe also like the couple other things in my portfolio, just to give you the context as to what the project looked like. I don't know why I didn't do this as I was going, but I'm a little bit backwards, and yeah, and I've been reading the chat as well. Yeah, it's hard not to compare ourselves to those around us, especially when it's people we admire. Yeah, I mean, hell, even with my friends and complete strangers that I don't know, I compare myself to everyone, and I usually find myself on the losing side. I know it's like completely arbitrary probably, but it's just it always comes back to haunt me for some reason, it seems. But yeah, I'm gonna go get the portfolio real quick. It's just right outside my room. I don't really have to do this, but I just want to do it just to kind of show off the new assets I have. So I'm gonna turn on the thing again. Look at that. I have a will be right back thing for it. So yeah, let me do that real quick. I'll be right back. 1 second. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, that was just my headset falling. 1 second. There we go. Well, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now it's time to show my comically, hilariously mid art. Let me actually... I'm gonna have to change my camera for this, actually, real quick. 1 sec. Face cam. Transform. Flip vertical. Okay. Wait, I don't need my little VTuber icon thing. I don't really usually show my face for this, and I probably won't very much, but I kind of need it for this anyways, to show off my art. Oh my god. But here's my giant portfolio, which my professor said is really nice. I just got it at Michael's. It was the only portfolio they had available, and like it was literally the only type. They only had one brand. They only had one product for a portfolio. Kind of weak, if you ask me, for a art store. I don't know. Maybe sometimes they have more, and it's just they're out of stock, or maybe my Michael's just kind of sucks. I know it definitely has fallen from grace. It used to be a lot cooler. But here's... Actually, let me point the lighting up there. I decided to mount my lighting thing because I forgot that I had that. It was my grandpa's originally. I don't think he ever used it for anything. I don't know what it could have been used for, but I realized, oh, I could use this for lighting or something. So it might be useful. Here's the first page of it. It's very basic. You can kind of see there's a little bit of like lighter down here. It's because I kind of erased a bit to make clouds, and you'll see in the next three that they kind of move a bit, like the clouds are drifting to show a like sort of passage of time. And you can see the first contrail, like it's, you know, he's flying out that way, right? So that's the first one. And then the second... Oh my god, if I can pick these pages. Bro. Yeah, here's the second one. They actually really like the contrails on this one. I kind of agree. I think it looks a lot like fluffier in this one. I wish I was able to replicate that in the other ones, but it looks really fluffy. You can see the clouds change position, they're moving, and another contrail comes in. So you have an adversary coming in head on. And this one, there's another smaller, thinner smoke trail branching off of it and going forward. So if you like pick up on the context clues here, it's firing another missile. It's firing a missile at the other aircraft. So that's what I was going for with that. And then in this third one, once again, clouds are moving. And there's the trail for the missile. It missed the mark and flew off. And now they're both pitching up into the sky, and they're twisting and turning to get a shot at each other. And you can see how they're like twirling around each other. I was very inspired by like Ace Combat 4, like in its aesthetic, especially like showing like the furball fights and and whatnot, and some like World War II dogfight photography, like showing like the dogfights from way up in the sky all the way down from below. And also, I was kind of inspired by Paths of Hate, which is a really, really good animated short film. It's Paths of Hate. Remember that. I really recommend looking at that. And then here's the last one that I got here. You can see this one, the one that came up on this side, ended up being the victor, launching another missile at them, and the other one breaks apart into a fireball after being shot down, but the fight isn't over because two more come in, and one of them is shooting a missile and whatnot. So that's kind of what I did for that one. I think it turned out all right. And you can definitely see what I mean by I tried to make sure that this was as black as I could get it, and it took me like half an hour each to make all of these fully black. It was pain. I'm never doing that again. Oh my god, look at my fingers. They're already getting so black from the charcoal on this. And now it's gonna get on everything. That's the other thing that I hate about like covering things with charcoal. Let me actually read the chat real quick. If there's anything. Blahaj. Oh yeah, my Blahaj shark is over there. A lot of stuff in the background. My room is a abhorrent mess. But you can also see my Ed 209 plushie over there and whatnot. That's a hell of a lot of charcoal and the flesh tuber action. Toon tuber icon gone. Oof, portfolio looking nice. So thanks. Yeah, then I got some of the other stuff for my portfolio. This is my first portfolio, by the way, because I didn't end up making the second one after the midterm because I missed out on a lot, so I didn't end up drawing a lot, so I didn't really have anything new to put in the portfolio, so that grade ended up being nothing, unfortunately. I didn't have anything to add to it, but the first portfolio, though, I do have, I think that is alright. This one, we had to do a value drawing, that's why it looks very anatomically incorrect. I could probably do at least a little bit better if I did this line drawing, but this couldn't be a line drawing. It was not allowed to be a line drawing. This had to be a value drawing, which means that you're not allowed to like draw the outline of it. You have to draw the object by doing the dark and the light, and that's so hard to do, especially with like a person. Oh my god, I'm getting so many fingerprints on this. Whatever, doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's why it's very anatomically incorrect, because I couldn't sketch it. It had to all be value, and even then the value doesn't look that great because the charcoal I was using is kind of cheap, and I hadn't quite really found out how to use it the best then, but that was a thing. It was good enough to fill the place. Next one, I kind of thought actually turned out a lot nicer than I expected it would. And it was just, landscape one, and at first I just sketched out in charcoal, and I thought, it looks okay. Like, the tree looks alright. But I thought, like, everything else sucked. And then he said, are you going to ink it? And I'm like, I guess I'll ink it, but it's probably not going to look good. And then it actually looked like this. There's some parts I don't really like as much, like you can see I kind of messed up here. I thought it would be a smart idea to put it on the easel like this. Not a smart idea. Don't put a drawing vertical on an easel when you're inking it. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea. I was like, oh, well, I draw it like this, so that means it's probably best to ink it like that. No, it drips down. That's why these got messed up. Lay it down flat on a table. Don't do the stupid thing I did. And then I kind of watered down some and used the shading, and it made this cell shading effect, and I think it made it look a lot nicer. So this made me think, maybe with a bit of practice I can make my inking look actually somewhat decent. So that ended up being alright. I have this, because we did like portraits, and I did a couple here. Like there's, we drew each other for certain things. And some of the people like how these turned out. I don't really like how it turned out. I'm very inconsistent with the quality of drawing realistic faces. Sometimes they look expressive and really neat, and then other times they look very dead and they look like WikiHow illustrations, as you can see here. These are not my best portraits by a long shot. And I had a couple I did with texture that I had to put in it, like I think, these were more the ones, but one of them had to be texture, and this is the one that I used for it. I don't know, it was alright, I guess. It did its job. Let me put these back in order real quick, or else my OCD is going to kick my ass. Let me check up on the chat again, if there's anything. A second, I thought it was Shrek Swamp. Real goobers. Value sketches are hella hard at first. I think they're just hard in general. I like doing the value. I just don't like basing the form of the drawing after them. I remember using charcoal in the past. I love it, but it's super messy. Dear God, it is messy. It gets on everything, and it it doesn't want to go away when it gets on fabric. Then there's also this one. This is another texture one. It's like a basket with some yarn in it. Maybe actually I should turn. No, you can see it. Yeah, that one's just kind of another texture one. What was this one? Oh, this is one of those like still life value things, and it looks okay. You can't really tell what it was supposed to be, but I think it was like this thing with like an eye. I don't know. It was like some abstract art, three-dimensional piece that you just use as like an example for something to use in a value thing. And then there's this one that was a lion statue that was supposed to do. I think it actually, weirdly enough, kind of turned out all right, but the face looks more like Cheems. Like it looks like a Shiba Inu dog, like a dog, less than a lion. Like this. Actually, the form overall looks more like a dog. It was supposed to be a lion, but it just looks like a really surprisingly alright value drawing of a dog. I failed the mission successfully, I guess. He said it looks a little bit too much like a dog. You can make it a little bigger, more detailed. I tried it again, it looked terrible. I was like, yeah, the first attempt was better. Let's not second guess ourselves here. So that ended up being the finished one for this one. Oh, this is another one of those value drawings that was like with that same thing. So that's the thing. It looks okay. Still, once again, you can kind of see I was getting used to using charcoal for value. This one was a perspective one, a 1-point perspective, so it's somewhat basic. I'm not really that great with 2-point, but I think it looked alright, and it was like one of these outdoor areas in my campus. Yeah. I think it looked good. He really liked how the perspective looked and how much detail it went into it. I thought it looked alright, but my favorite part, obviously, was when it was getting towards the end and we were running out of time and I already pretty much finished and I just wanted to, like, doodle something on it. I doodled a F-35A Lightning II stealth fighter jet on there because I hadn't drawn that particular fighter jet ever before. I was like, oh, I'll just, like, get a little reference and do a little doodle of it. I think it looked kind of cool. I might draw that again sometime. And lastly, for the portfolio, there's like these still life line drawing things. There's like some logs and branches and fake birds. This one looked alright. I kind of like this one because I also used value. It looked okay. And now, let me... Oh my god, I have to get all of these together. There we go. I'm not even going to tie it down in the portfolio. I'm just going to plop it down in there. It's good enough. And move that out of the way real quick. I'm just going to keep it on my lap. I don't feel like moving it over here. I have stuff on my bed right now because I don't know where I put it right now. I only really have like one thing in here pretty much, but I thought I'd show it. It's supposed to be an SU-27 flanker for this thing, and yes, it's supposed to be vertical because it's supposed to look like it's like climbing up vertically into the sky. But when you look at it this way, you can kind of see the accuracies and inaccuracies in it. Like, I think I started to get the form all right because I worked on it for like half an hour to an hour just trying to make sure the shape was right, because I was like, oh god, now it's starting to look like an F-18, and that's not the plane that I'm trying to draw here, because the way the curves look and the proportions mean everything on, like, 4th gen fighter jets, because you could try to draw a flanker, and the front of the flanker could look like a flanker at first, but get the proportions just slightly off, and it looks like a Hornet, and that's not what I was going for. And I think it turned out all right for what I have, but the wings are definitely way too short there. I need to fix that. Will I finish this? I have no idea. Probably not. I'll probably forget about it and be too lazy to finish it. But it was supposed to be a little thing. It was supposed to be like kind of concept art for this Ace Combat inspired universe thing. To show it off. I don't know. Maybe I'll finish it. But yeah, there's that. Let me see here. Great perspective work. Thank you. I'm gonna put on the thing again real quick. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna put these back real quick so they're out of the way and wash off my hands before I start the actual drawing for tonight. Sorry for the long ass wait. Okay, I'm back. Let me just quickly set up everything here. What is this? There we go. Okay, let me set up the camera correctly. In the lane, let me point it downwards again, and get my sketchbook back up here. Put this back on. Alright. Does that look good? A little bit more like... Sorry, just adjusting the camera to look right, because I only have one webcam. Will that do? Whatever, that's good enough, I think. One second, let me just check this real quick. Alright. Let me also look at... Oh, okay, I got actually 5 people watching right now. That's actually pretty interesting. I was honestly kind of expecting no one was going to watch it, besides like people who watch it when I put the recorded version on YouTube, or at most like 1 or 2 people would come in. But this is legitimately the most people I've had in the chat, or even just like watching at one time, because the absolute max amount of viewers I've ever had on a stream was 2 at the same time, and that was in a War Thunder stream like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was when I didn't have like assets like a VTuber thing or any like title screens or anything. It was just my webcam and the screen recording. And most of my others have been 1 person or nobody there. So it's nice to actually have someone watching. I guess I'll put the music back on, and let's draw. If I can think of what I'm gonna draw. Kind of want to draw something with fighter jets, but I don't know. Maybe. I have a few options for what I could draw here. Also, yes, I have Ace Combat 7 soundtrack playing at the moment. I wish I really thought of what to draw more before the stream. I mean, it'll just throw something random. Yeah, I think I have a vague idea of what I want to do here. Hold up 1 second. Let me get some refs here. What the fuck is this? Modernized F-22 Raptor? Clickbait, bro. I love the Ace Combat soundtrack so much. Yeah, I'll just put those there so I can have them on the screen. Okay, I've decided I'm going to draw an F-22 Raptor because it's something easy. It's very angular, not very many curves. I have the ref over on my monitor to look at it. I guess this will serve as like a sort of concept art for what I want my final project to be when I recreate it. Obviously, it won't be for a grade because, you know, my college is over. But I did remember that I actually did want to make... I wanted to remake it, pretty much, but not with the same idea. I wanted to do something entirely different this time around and just do it as a passion project. So it might not even be 16 pages. It might be less, might be more. I don't know. But there's no rules to follow this time, so I can do it whatever way I want, and I'm sure of it this time. And because I saw the other like really creative, cool ideas that the other students did, I'm thinking I'm probably going to do something kind of like that, where I do something creative. I'm going to do something Ace Combat 7 related for it, and this time I'm actually going to draw the fighter jets directly instead of you know, using just contrails to show their existence. I want to actually use my skills and put them to something to make something impressive, and I want it to be kind of laid out like an animation, like some of the other projects were, and not like it has to be like actually animated, obviously, but I want there to be like a sort of like sequence to that, if that makes any sense. And I want it to follow first Mihai A. Shalaji's, the enemy, like your main enemy's plane, his Su-30, like doing some sort of like some cool maneuver or something like that, and the camera pans for one of them over to Trigger's plane, which is your character's plane, is F-22 Raptor. And I want it to be it flying towards the camera, like flying towards the viewer. And what I wanted to do is like it gets closer and closer, a bit like it's coming up closer on the enemy, and you're viewing it from the perspective of the enemy. And in the last four, like gunshots, trying to think of how to explain this, like bullet holes start appearing in the paper. So like in the fourth to last one, there will be like 3 bullet holes through the paper. Then like the third to last one will have 7, then the second to last will have like 15, and the last one will have like 20, 25 bullet holes through the paper to kind of look like as it's coming in towards the camera, it's like opening fire with its Gatling cannon on the paper, and it's like breaking through the paper. And I wanted to do that by actually going to the gun range, like with my granny's like 22 caliber, because she does have a gun. I don't. I'm still not old enough to own a gun myself, and I don't have the money for it. And my dad's is like in a locker somewhere, so I only really have my granny's, and it's just a 22 caliber. But I think the smaller the caliber, the better, because I don't want to look like there's giant holes in the paper. I just want it to kind of look like it's been peppered with like auto cannon fire or something on that. I think that will like make it really unique and also really genuine. Like there's actual bullet holes through the paper. Like I could take it to the range and actually shoot the paper like a target, and have actual bullet holes in the paper to like really increase the immersion. And what I could do is to like increase the immersion and the illusion of it actually like shooting through the paper actively. I was thinking of like actually grinding some soft charcoal against a paper to create charcoal dust that I can sprinkle around the edges of the actual bullet holes to make it look like there's burn marks, so it looks even more like actual bullet holes, even though they're already actual bullet holes. And that will like make it look really, like I said, immersive and believable. I think that could be like a really cool little concept, so I'm thinking I might do that. And I was so frustrated that I couldn't go back in time and tell myself to do that, even if I didn't have the time to actually go to the gun range. And I could just like use a hole puncher, even though it's, you know, a little bit less cool, but it gets the same idea across. Yeah, I was like so proud of the bullet hole idea, and I was so disappointed in myself for not thinking about that until the project was already due and I was looking at other people's finished products. I was like, God damn it, now that would have been such a cool idea, and instead I just did this stupid smoke trail thing. Also, I should probably work a little bit faster here. I'm kind of being inefficient right now. I have a tendency to do that. I need to stop being such a perfectionist and just draw. It doesn't matter if it looks imperfect. No one who doesn't know a whole lot about this specific fighter jet is going to notice any flaws or mistakes in proportion. I don't know why I'm so caught up on this. It's so hard. I have to remind myself to not be such a perfectionist. Now I have to verbally like actually physically with my mouth say to myself to not do this. Okay, I think I'm getting the intake shape all right so far. Look at that, looks all right. Yeah, it looks like a F-22 kind of. Temu me not. O celum nostrum. Oh my god, I'm going way too deep with my voice. Is not how I usually sing it. And yes, I do know the lyrics to it in Latin. I've practiced it because I'm that autistic for this fucking song and all the soundtrack for Ace Combat 7 game, because it's just so damn good. Protegenos qui vitam frugale magimus dona nobis perpetua bona ocelum nostrum protegenos qui vitam frugale magimus dona nobis perpetua bona ocelum nostrum protegenos qui vitam frugale magimus dona nobis perpetua bona ocelum nostrum. qui vitam frugale magimus dona nobis perpetua bona opera nos protege nos qui vitam frugale magimus dona nobis perpetua bona ocelum nostrum dona nobis perpetua bona. This is looking alright, I guess. Let me also move it a little bit closer to the camera so you guys can actually see it. Sorry about that. Also, I swear to God, I will eventually do a actual proper digital art stream one day, so you don't have to look at my ugly ass setup with my low res camera and bad lighting and see very small me drawing it with my hand partially in the way, and also you won't have to bear witness to my traditional art, so that will be probably a plus. But I'm a little bit too lazy to do digital art right now, and I probably will be for a little bit, because I tend to be too lazy to do digital art quite often. Really? I think the lighting looks really ugly for me, honestly. At least that's just me personally. Oh wait, I don't know what I'm doing here. This line was already basically for that. Here I am being stupid again. That's where the intake is. There we go. It's a little bit confusing because inlets on fighter jets have like splitters, pretty much. Not splitters, this isn't a splitter. Like a diverter, so that way the turbulent air around, like the turbulent airflow around the fuselage doesn't get into the intakes, because that's not really as good for the engine as just regular clean flowing air, if that makes any sense. It's kind of weird aerodynamic stuff, but I didn't even know that was a thing until like a year ago, and I felt stupid for not knowing that as a kid all along. I never noticed that there was a gap between the inlet and the fuselage for fighter jets, with like the only exceptions being like ones like the J-10B or the F-35 or whatnot, where it has a divertless intake because it's got this like weird bump. But the F-22 didn't have that, and not many fighter jets have a divertless intake, because it's something that's only really been added in practice on fighter jets as of like the last 10 years. I think it was like a concept, but people didn't really take it seriously until like the F-35 pretty much. I think I should stop worrying too much about the shape of these inlets. This isn't supposed to be a perfect sketch anyways. I don't know what I'm doing here. That line still needs to be there, though. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. I love how fucking dramatic this song is. This one's ADFX10. Yeah, that's good enough. I shouldn't get too carried away with just the inlets. I mean, I know the inlets are a pretty big part of a fighter jet's design, but I'm going a little bit insane trying to make those look perfect. Oh boy, my least favorite part, the wings. I'm just gonna kind of like do a little bit of it, and I'll focus on making the wings look better after I finish the fuselage, because I know it's going to drive me insane if I do so otherwise. with a little bit of curving, like on the upper fuselage of the F-22. I think that's for aerodynamic reasons, because just having sharp angles and trapezoids on your fighter isn't really very good for your airflow. Particularly, the F-117 had terrible aerodynamics because it was all angles everywhere, which made it really stealthy, yes, but the thing flew like a fucking brick. F-22 is a lot better with handling and aerodynamics. I imagine that those round parts on the top are part of that, but it's got to have like very flat bottom. It has to have a lot of sharp angles everywhere else, so it's able to deflect radar waves away instead of back to the radar. That's how stealth works. Sorry, I'm like talking a whole lot of like technical stuff about fighter jets, but I just kind of find it interesting, and I don't really get to talk about how fighter jets work very much. So I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of lore there, I guess. Some F-22 Raptor lore, some fighter jet lore, if you will. Does this look right? I'm gonna stick with it. It looks okay, I think. Maybe it's just because it doesn't have wings yet. It kind of looks a little bit goofy. This is another one of my favorite pieces of soundtrack, because it starts off like very basic and repetitive at first, but then there's this build up, and like you think, oh, it's probably just gonna like build up to like a regular drop for this song. It's just regular background music, you know, nothing insane, right? Oh no, this ends up being like one of the hardest hitting fucking songs in the entire soundtrack, and it's so underrated. You just gotta wait for it. It comes at like the very end, and you wish there was more of it. But the build up for it's perfect. And here it is. It's fucking beautiful. I love this piece of soundtrack. Okay, maybe I should start adding the tail fins now. Angle that a little bit more than that. There we go. Like that. I think that looks right. Yeah, about like that. I actually never really realized there was that little curve on the tail fins there. I wonder what that's for. Is that like, I don't know what that house is. Like sometimes fighter jets just kind of have like these like things in the rear tail fins. I know I'm supposed to know a lot about planes and whatnot, but I never actually really knew what those are. Are those like part of the RWR? Or is that just like something else? Is it another radar? What kind of instruments are in those like little pods and the vertical stabilizers? I've always noticed that. I wonder if that's like part of that little slight bulge, curve. Kind of looks like it's a little bent because of that. There you go. I think that looks a little bit better. Yeah, there's the tail fins. I keep saying tail fins. That sounds really amateur of me. The vertical stabilizers, because tail fins can mean anything. Yeah, the vertical stabilizers there. Oh yeah, and also, sorry, I keep forgetting to mention the names of these pieces of soundtrack, but this one is Mimic, which is the theme for Mimic Squadron, Rage and Scream. This is all part of the same soundtrack, by the way. Ace Combat 7 has insane variety. Yeah, I think that'll do enough for it. The wings there. Meta Knight Halberd? I don't know what that is. I think that looks good enough for the wings. I think I made this a little bit too pointy though. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. The wings are a little bit inconsistent, but whatever. No. Portions are a little bit off, but oh well. It looks enough like a F-22. I was about to say F-16. What the fuck? F-22 Raptor. This one is Faceless Soldier from, once again, Ace Combat 7 OST. The machine gun, the cannon's supposed to be somewhere around here. Man, I actually kind of forgot how to draw muzzle flashes. One second, let me look at my references. References. There we go. I could draw straight lines. Yeah, I think it looks kind of cool. This is kind of like concept art for like what I wanted to do for that like project, I guess. You can kind of see what I'm going for. But I think I'm also going to kind of transform it into something of its own as well. I'm going to add a little like panel here with Julia as a pilot or something. Also, I think I'm going to do that other art style thing as well, instead of using my regular art style. Just to switch it up a bit. Let me just find a couple things for it. Also, I haven't drawn in this art style in fucking ages. So there's a chance it might not end up looking that great. We'll see. Oh yeah, now we got Ace Combat 2 soundtrack here. I think the eyes are too high, actually. I might have drawn that line a little bit too far up. By the way, this soundtrack here is Fire Young Man. Once again, from the Ace Combat 2 soundtrack. Ooh, one eye's higher than the other. That's not good. No. My eraser keeps coming off. Oh wait, actually I kind of want to change up the nose a bit as well. The jawline's a bit high up, actually. check something. No. This one's Night Butterfly. Once again, Ace Combat 2 soundtrack. It's a little bit too cross-eyed. This eye also kind of just looked a little bit scuffed when he fixed that. There we go. I think that looks alright. I never actually designed a proper design for what Julia's helmet would be for her fighter pilot AU thing. Let me actually... I actually need to also get a reference here for fighter jet pilot. Fighter pilot uniform. There you go. I guess before I completely worry about that, I should probably do the neck and body a little bit. I got Phantom by Cheese. This is a Russian song. It's about a American phantom pilot in Vietnam being shot down by a Vietnamese ace, except that Vietnamese ace is actually a Russian one fighting for the Vietnamese Air Force. I don't know. I don't know if I can make it look as good as I want it to, so I'm just gonna ignore that.
just realized his shoulders look a little bit wide here. This one is Atas by Lyube. Oh, what's this? Notification? Real. Collar. Okay. Okay. Oh, helmet. Helmet. Actually, let me look at F-22 pilot. Oh my god. The helmet. There we go. Hmm. Come on, eraser. Grupa kravi na rukawie, moje pajakawie na na rukawie. Pożelaj mnie udaci w baju, pożelaj mnie. Nie stacja witaj trawie, nie stacja witaj trawie. Pożelaj mnie udaci. Pożelaj mnie udaci.
Do 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 do. Oh yeah, and this one, by the way, is Grupa Kravi by Kino. Keep forgetting to list the names of the songs. Sorry about that. What else do I want to do with this here? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, F-22 cockpit. Oh, I actually still got a few people still watching. How cool is that? Can I get one of the seat? Can I see what the seat looks like, please? That's probably the best image I'm gonna get of it. Alright. It's not like I'm gonna need much detail for it anyways. It's not gonna take up much space. I might as well like make it look like there's a seat behind her. She said, do 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 permian trabuju nasi glaza.
trying to think of how the bubble canopy would look here.
Okay, I'm trying to think of how I'm gonna do that. Probably that. I don't know how I'm gonna try to do the reflections there. Love Illuminati, some love Illuminati, vidna. Kaksingusita matri, kaksingusita matri, krustimia zmeonadna. Azjate temeneye, azjate temeneye. was trying to do a little lens flare thing, but I don't think I know how to do that. I'm trying to think what else I could add to this. It seems like it's pretty much done here. I think I might be done with this drawing. But I'm trying to think just real quick before I call it. Oh yeah, intakes. Oh yeah, I need to make those a whole lot darker. I don't know what I was thinking. And, you know what? I might do one more thing here with it. And I have its doors open. I think I should get a picture of an AIM-9X Sidewinder. AIM-9X. let's actually just completely redraw that Sidewinder. That doesn't look very nice. Plus, also, I should probably draw it bigger. You know, I think this is looking pretty good. I think this might be the finished product right here, actually. Let me actually just make sure of something. Okay, OBS is indeed still recording, though it didn't just lose all this footage. Should have checked earlier, but I think you know, I'll let the rest of the song go, and I'll add a couple more details before I call it. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. And I guess with that, that will probably be the end for this drawing. I think this will be the finished product. You can see it. Well, let me actually check if this looks good on there. Wait, why is there? Oh wait, that's yeah. Oh, I just realized I didn't even have my thing. 1 second. Wait, I didn't even. I forgot to flip it back around. 1 second. Transform. Flip vertical. There we go. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I had the whole thing upside down. Lighting isn't really the best. I don't know. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I'll take a picture of it, obviously, so that way you can see it in better quality. But, with all that said, I've been streaming for... Let me see, how long now? How long have I been streaming? Let me refresh the page here. Sheesh! Almost 2.5 hours now. That's a whole lot longer than I expected I would be streaming, but... Yeah, thank you all for joining, and thank you for the compliments for the art. I'll be posting it pretty damn soon. But yeah, that was my first like major successful art stream. Yeah, I'll try to stream again maybe sometime next week or during the weekend if I can. But other than that, oh, thank you, Sponger. Thank you. But with all of that being said, I think that will probably conclude the stream. I'll see you guys. Good night.